Hello there, and welcome to the BSR Sports Podcast. From the fans, for the fans, Liam Murphy's got an OnlyFans. Today, I'm joined by the OnlyFans man, Liam Murphy, and no, he's not actual. Don't actually think about it. He's not. Camden.
See the fuck you've done.
What?
See what you've done now.
People are going to be looking that up.
Aye.
Are we put that in?
Aye. Just keep going.
Yeah, I should. Joined by today's guest and the usual guest, Blair Murphy and Luke McFarlane. BSR Sports. Check now. We've just launched a new website. Terrific stuff. Today, as you can tell by the top, I'm not keeping it very neutral, am I, boys? I apologise for that, but
shocking.
When the colours come out, and it is the Red Derby. It is Manchester v Liverpool this Sunday at 5:30 p.m, I believe. Man United v Liverpool, the battle of the English Giants. So, we'll get right into it, will we?
Yep.
Yeah.
We're going to start off with our combined 11. Goalkeeper.
I'll
We've got Alisson. Right, you can start off, seeing as you're so keen. On you go.
I mean, if this was made 3-4 years ago, I feel like this wouldn't be a debate with going with De Gea. But now I can't see anyone else but Alisson. I don't know if De Gea's just fallen off a cliff recently, but Alisson, I would say, is the second best goalkeeper in the world. Definitely the best in the league for me, anyway.
Yeah, I agree. I think De Gea is obviously, ever since he let that hat trick in against Ronaldo at the World Cup against Portugal, he has just gone off a cliff almost, as you said. He has been a bit better this season, less shocking errors, less errors leading to goals and stuff. He seems a bit more steady at times, which is encouraging to see because he got a massive contract extension. He's on big money. Dean Henderson as well. Like overall, when you look at that sort of goalkeeping team that they have, it's solid. Probably the best combination of goalkeepers you'll get in football potentially anywhere. With Henderson as a number 2, he's very good. But yeah, I would still take Alisson between him and De Gea. I'd still take Alisson all day. I think it's tight between him and Neuer and a couple others for to be the best goalkeeper in world football, and he's definitely the best in England. So I'll concede that one. Definitely Alisson and goals.
Hey, yeah, 100%. We spoke about in the Team of the Year podcast. If you've not seen that, go and watch it. We chose our Team of the Year, and I think every one of us did choose Neuer, but we said Alisson was second, with no doubt. He's one of the best at distribution. He's one of the best shot stoppers. Still can't get over. Mind that save. Was it against Napoli? Uh-huh. It was the last minute of the game. That is, people were saying it was an overrated save. Honestly, I jumped out my seat when I seen it, and it just shows he throws himself at anything. Alisson, De Gea, always rated him. Always said he was the best goalkeeper in the world up until 2-3 years ago. Neuer's obviously been at the top of his game. You can talk Neuer. We did talk Neuer in the past podcast, but with De Gea, you were right. He just seems to have been booted off a cliff, and I honestly don't know. Dean Henderson's come in. Would you say Dean Henderson's merited a spot to take De Gea's place?
No,
I feel it's kind of 50-50 at the moment.
Yeah, I think De Gea is still the number 1. It's nice to have that sort of competition. At the start of the year, I was sceptical because Henderson, he's been given like £100,000 a week contract to be the number 2 goalkeeper, but he's not back to his best, De Gea, by a long stretch, but he's competition with Henderson is spurring him on because we had Romero before, who again bet like as good a backup as you'll get. I rate Romero. He should have probably played a couple of games last season, like the FA Cup game against Chelsea, but I think having Henderson there just provides a bit of competition, and we're seeing a better De Gea this season than we have the last 2, but still not the best De Gea, I'd say. Yeah,
I think he was kind of tired of carrying Man United all the years.
Potentially, yeah.
But he was
generally a PFA Player of the Year like 2 or 3 years in a row. So, I mean, what does that tell you?
It's a joke. It's a running joke on Twitter, but you could say he carried him, you could say he couldn't. But I always felt his performances from Man United's poor defensive performances and his extraordinary goalkeeping performances that did merit like the trophies and awards that he did get over the years. I mean, in the Team of the Year, how many years for the Premier League, the PFA Team of the Year, how many years in a row was he in it? It must have been 3, 4, 5. It was extraordinary. So for a Man United team that were struggling and him to be in that, it just shows you the levels it was. But with Dean Henderson, you were right, the £100,000 a week contract, he was at Sheffield United last year, and honestly, he was just probably the third best keeper, well, fourth best keeper in the league. Forgetting about Ederson. Fourth best keeper in the league. It was just extraordinary. It was outstanding. Some of the saves that he made, and that made, like yourselves, the Man United fans, question whether or not he did merit the first place, because De Gea had been playing so badly. But I feel in recent games, De Gea has come onto his game again. He's made some crucial saves. But yeah, I think we can all agree Alisson for that position. Am I right?
Yep.
One thing I'd like to point out about Alisson as well, people talk about how he doesn't make like any spectacular saves. Is that because he doesn't need to? He makes them look so easy. He'll catch the ball or he'll just roll it out, for example. He doesn't parry it or anything. That's not a sign of a bad goalkeeper. That's a sign of a really good goalkeeper. That's a goalkeeper that has confidence in himself, who doesn't need to just parry the ball all the time. He has confidence in his catching ability, and that just makes Alisson stand out from the rest, in my opinion.
I think the reason we can say that is because look at Adrian goals and look at when Alisson came back from injury. Look at the difference in the defence, the confidence in the defence, and just the control of the game when you had your first goalkeeper in. Like, as you said, it makes it look so easy, so calm, so composed on the ball. He has Neuer-like when he's dribbling with the ball. I don't think you can compare to Neuer's back. Did you see Neuer's back heel at the weekend?
I did see that.
Somebody came to try and tackle him, and he just flicked it by them in his own box, right next to the goal, as if it was nothing. And it's that confidence in the ball that you need as a goalkeeper in the modern day. And I think Alisson does it to the top of the game. Probably not Neuer. Neuer's definitely the best in the world, but he's up there anyway.
Yeah.
We'll go to right back first. Oh, this was a big debate. This was a big debate at the start of the season. I don't think it's really a debate anymore. No. I feel one player's kind of proved himself and one player's kind of let himself slip a bit. And I think we can all figure out what that is. I feel Trent's kind of let himself slip a bit. I'm not joking.
I was going to smack you up there.
Nah, Wan-Bissaka's out the picture. It has to be Trent, doesn't it?
Yeah, it can't be argued in my opinion. Obviously this season it's been a bit different because Trent's not really been on form, but he has had COVID, he has had injuries this season, and it is difficult to see where his form will come from. But I'm confident in his ability. I just don't want him to be stuck into the mindset of like, oh, I'm a superstar, I don't need to turn up every week now, because he's pretty much nearly won all he can at such a young age. I just don't want him to. I want him to continue this amazing young player that he was. The way he can ping a ball is arguably up there with the likes of Kevin De Bruyne in world football, because he is arguably free passers in the world when he wants to turn up. And right now he really is hit or miss. If he turns up, then a lot of the Liverpool players turn up. But right now, obviously Wan-Bissaka is a fantastic defensive fullback. It's quite obvious that he is. But he is known as well to have a few lapses in concentration as well. I think it's been quite obvious. Of maybe against recent weeks, I think it was against Aston Villa at one point, where he was trying to stop a quick free kick rather than trying to get back into position, and then they went and scored from the resulting quick free kick. Again, Trent hasn't been the best this season, but this argument can't be debated much further, I think, because Trent is, I think, still streets ahead of Wan-Bissaka attacking wise as well, and he will only improve defensively, Trent.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think like he offers so much more to you. If you gave me the choice of having Trent or Wan-Bissaka in my team, I'd take Trent all day. I think Wan-Bissaka, maybe last year there was a point where when he came into United, he hit the ground running, like probably straight away. People are saying like the most solid fullback you've seen in years at United, and maybe the most solid in the country. But he didn't have much going forward. But it was also the way Man United were playing. This was before they signed Bruno Fernandez. They would often be like a defensive team, especially against the big teams. So he would sort of thrive in that. But now that Bruno's come in and they're trying to play football more, especially in the big games, we'll be interested to see against Liverpool this weekend how they play. But when they're going forward more and when they're relying more on possession and creating chances, then Wan-Bissaka seems a wee bit, I don't want to say exposed, but he just can't. He's just nowhere near as good going forward as he is defensively. And that's the thing. If you were going to have a fullback with sort of naturally good defensively and naturally good going forward, probably in the past you would have said defensively, but now I think it's so important that they can go forward and create chances. I think you'd rather be in Liverpool's situation where you've got Trent, who is so good going forward and maybe needs to put a bit more into his game at the back, than on the other hand with Wan-Bissaka, naturally so good defensively, although like we said, he's not been at his best at times. I think this season again a bit better. You mentioned the Aston Villa goal, obviously. The tail end to last year, he was shocking. You've seen Timothy Fosu-Mensah coming in for him. But yeah, I think you'd rather have a player who's good going forward naturally and have to improve a bit defensively than the other way around, if that makes sense. So yeah, overall, I'd take Trent without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah. Exactly what you said there about Wan-Bissaka. He's got it all. Well, personally, I feel he hasn't got it all, but he's a terrific defender. If you actually see his stats from this season, he's one of the best defensively. You might not believe it. He's. I think at the start of the season, he was first for many, like interceptions, tackles won and stuff, like percentages. He was first in the table for many of them. And it did surprise a lot of people, but has he really come on after that? No, he's probably downgraded himself after that, which is not what you want in a season. I still rate him defensively. I think Wan-Bissaka is an excellent defender. I think he's got all the pace in the world. He's got a good bit of strength about him as well, even though he can get knocked off the ball. But attacking-wise, he really, really needs to improve. With these stupid Ronaldo flicks and all the rest of it, I would be frustrated as a Man United fan watching it. I know the football Twitter does take the mick out of it. Rightly so, with him trying these things and I'm not pulling them off in big games. But if you're going to do it right, get the basics done first. And I think that's what he needs to focus on if he wants to be a top defender.
Yeah, I do. Definitely.
Yeah.
So, centre-back. We'll go for right centre-back first.
Sorry there. But if we're going to base off the fact that who's available at the moment, if we're going to base off full on ability, then Van Dijk gets in easily. But obviously, we can't include Van Dijk because he's out for the season. But I'd like to pull out a special mention for Liverpool's sake. We don't have many options, but I'd like to pull out a special mention for Fabinho, who's arguably been one of Liverpool's better players this season, definitely. And since he's moved into that centre-back role, I feel like he has come on leaps and bounds in his game because he's kind of taken up that leadership role because Matip's made it a glass, so you probably see the youngsters play alongside Fabinho. So he's having to take up that more. He's pretty much been taking up the Van Dijk role, where he's now leading that back line. And he's done it superbly. Obviously, I would much rather have Fabinho midfield because I feel like he's obviously, in my opinion, one of the most underrated players in the world. But to see him play centre-back, I feel like he doesn't get enough credit as he should. But as far as Liverpool centre-backs, that's the only one I'm going to be putting in because there's no one else I can put in.
Yep. What's your thought, Luke?
Yeah, I definitely agree with what Liam's saying about Fabinho. He's come in and just added a bit of composure to that defence that Liverpool needed when Van Dijk was going out because it was kind of seemed like a bit panicky back there for a while when he wasn't playing centre-back when Van Dijk went out. But I don't know, I was going to put Fabinho into my team in defensive mid, so now I'm sort of thinking how I should do this. But I mean, I'm trying to think how I should do it. I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to say Fabinho later on, but for defence, I would take Eric Bailly. I think he is having maybe one of his best seasons, at least in like 2 or 3 years. the problem with Eric Bailly is how injury prone he is, and you just, even now when he's in the best form he's been in so long, you just wonder how long is it going to be until he does something that keeps him out for a significant length of time. But he is maybe the missing piece that United have needed. Everyone thinks we need to sign a centre back, and I still wouldn't disagree with that, because, like I say, I'm not confident that Eric Bailly's going to stay fit. But when he is fit, him and Harry Maguire playing alongside each other at centre back, like that should be the partnership this weekend. And I don't even know if it will be. There's a chance Lindelof will play, but I think what Maguire lacks is pace, and that's something that Eric Bailly brings, as well as all his other attributes. I feel like he's made crazy goal saving tackles in almost every game I've watched him. The other day, early on in the game, he dives in front of a shot, and I think it was against Aston Villa. Makes a tackle pretty much on the goal line in the last minute. I think Eric Bailly's been one of the most important players on this sort of run they're on right now in the league. So I take Bailly straight away, and then it's just a debate maybe for the other centre back position.
This is why I was going to go with Fabinho, because I was going to agree with you on Eric Bailly, because you don't feel confident. I don't know about you, Luke, but I wouldn't feel confident in Harry Maguire's ability as a centre half. But
No.
And it's the same with your other centre backs as well. Lindelof is known to be a bit of a liability as well. And for Liverpool's sake, the only options I have are Fabinho or Reece Williams, to be perfectly honest, because Nat Phillips is not the greatest, and Matip, I don't even know if he's fit right now. So I really just went with Fabinho because there's no one else to go with.
Yeah. Maybe I'll agree with you then for the other position. Then I'm going to have to debate who I put defensive midfield. But yeah, I think, like I said with Harry, I'm not his biggest fan, and really just don't trust him as a captain or as a player. I think he looks a bit better with Bailly alongside him, because he doesn't need to worry about. Because he's someone who likes to get forward by. He fancies himself. Maguire fancies himself on the ball. So having a defender there with a bit of pace, which isn't Lindelof, does complement a wee bit and does bring the best out of him. So yeah, maybe I would put Fabinho in over Maguire then, I suppose. So yeah. Fabinho and Bailly at centre back.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I would totally agree. Fabinho and Bailly at centre back. The other night, Maguire actually got a better rating than Bailly, but it was only by 2. But if you look at Bailly's performances in recent games, you've seen the one at Old Trafford where he threw himself in front of that shot. Was it against? Who was it against?
So he made one in the last minute against Villa, and then last night against Burnley. He did it again last night, sort of against Burnley. Wasn't as crazy, but.
It was a game against Villa, and I think everybody, it blew up the video, because everybody was just like, honestly, that's world class defending. To throw yourself at the ball like that, it takes courage, it takes passion to actually want to do that, because not a lot of defenders will do that nowadays. You need to have an old fashioned defender, and he's willing to put his body on the line for Man United. So for that reason, it has to be Bailly. Fabinho's been very, very underrated this season at centre back. He has been, as we talk about stats again, I think Fabinho he still is top of some of the main stats for being a centre back this season. He's strolling it. He's absolutely strolling it, and to be a centre defensive mid, most of his career anyway, to go from that and just slot in at centre back the way he has in back pocket many outstanding world-class strikers, as if it's just another day at the office. It's remarkable. So we definitely need to have Fabinho in there, because Maguire's not at it. 80 million price tag, that's just a farce at the most. It's just not happening for me. Fabinho and Bailly, definitely. So we fine with that then?
Yep.
So we've got Alisson, Fabinho and Bailly, and Trent at right back. Yep. Left back then?
I swear to God, if this is not Robertson, I'm leaving.
No, I was gonna say I don't think there'll be much dispute for left back either.
I was thinking Luke Shaw.
No, are you serious?
No chance.
I was thinking Luke Shaw.
Luke Shaw's not even the best left back in Man United.
I know. That's a shame on it. I know. All the hype that's lived up to Alex Tellers, I think he has lived up to it, to be honest with you.
He's been unlucky.
He's been pretty. Don't know. He's created decent chances, and he has had a decent impact. He's settled the Man United defence. I feel definitely. He's brought more of a.
I'm talking about Shaw.
Tell us,
right.
Tell us. I think he's brought more of an attacking prospect to the team, but he's not all that yet. He's still got a lot of improvement to go. For that reason, we need to put in the Champions League winner, the Scotland playoff qualifier, and one of the best left backs in the world. We spoke about him in the Team of the Year podcast. It was him or Alphonso Davies. It has to be Robertson for this one, because honestly, his attacking presence is just second to none. As a left back, he can whip a ball in like nobody's business. He's more of a left winger at times, isn't he, Liam?
Yeah, definitely. I said a lot when you watch Liverpool play, it mainly looks like they're playing like a 2-3-5 at times, because the way Robertson and Trent on. It's brilliant as well, because the most important thing, we'll get into the midfield in a second, but our midfield's main job is to cover for the full backs, and that's what makes Liverpool tick at times, because you'll see Henderson drop to right back, you'll see Wijnaldum drop to left back if the counter attack was to go ahead. Obviously, Robertson and Trent are both rapid, but it's good to have that cover as well. But Robertson has come leaps and bounds this season. I might be a bit biased to say this, but I would say he has been Liverpool's player of the season. I could maybe argue a few other players. We'll get into them in a we will. But Robertson has just been untouchable, I feel like, for Liverpool this season. And I think it's since the new left back came in, Tsimikas, he feels like he needs to step up his game now, so he now has some competition. But even since Tsimikas got his injury, he's been absolutely on point.
Tsimikas we actually spoke about this in our previous podcast, can't remember which one, but Tsimikas is slated very highly for one of his performances. I think it was Atalanta game, wasn't it?
Something like that.
At Anfield.
Yeah.
Atalanta at Anfield. And everybody was dissing him. I don't know why, because it was you were either that game you were either dissing him or you were saying he played amazing. Liverpool's best player. So I felt he played good. I didn't feel he had any problems at the back, but obviously with injury it stopped him improving the haters wrong. You're always going to get haters coming into a club the size of Liverpool, so it's disappointing for him, but getting back onto Robertson, there's no chance that anybody's taking Robertson out of that spot. He's just tremendous. You've seen what he's done for Liverpool over the years, coming from Queen's Park to Dundee United to Hull to Liverpool. It's tremendous. I remember watching him for Hull. I'm a Partick Thistle fan, and watching him for Hull for Partick Thistle v Dundee United. I actually watched him against Queen's Park at Hampden. And he was flying up the wing, but he was very, very skinny, and he would get knocked off the ball easily. He still had that presence, but you can see Jurgen Klopp's just latched onto that pace and the power that he's got. Have you seen Robertson's legs now? Robertson's legs are absolutely giant now, and it's just all power now. And he whips the balls in like nobody's business. So, yeah, definitely Robertson for left back. Will we go for a 4-3-3 formation?
4-3-3, yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
Right, on to the midfielders. Who are we saying? Liam, take us through your thoughts first. Three midfielders.
It's hard. If I'm going to pick my three midfielders, I'm going to have to put some United ones in there, because Liverpool's options, obviously we have good midfielders, but Man United, I would argue, probably have the better midfield. We're going to base on overall ability. The one Liverpool player I'm putting in is hands down Thiago. I don't think that can be argued.
Is he fit?
He is fit. Yeah. He is fit, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, shit. I don't know.
And I'm going to go with him because his ability he's arguably one of the best midfielders in the world when he's fully fit. Obviously, he's not been fit that much for Liverpool this season, but I can't look past Thiago. He's honestly unreal, and he's one of them. Every time I watch him, I still think, I can't believe we actually have this player. Because Liverpool never sign a player like this. Because Liverpool always make great players, but we never sign great players. It was such a breath of fresh air when we signed them. My other two midfield options, I've gone with actually two United lads, unfortunately. I think the first one is not debatable, and that's Bruno Fernandez. I think you can't look past him this season. He's probably been United's best player, and if it wasn't for him, they probably would be in a top 6 race, if that. People like to call him Bruno Fernandez, and I've been known to call him it as well. This season he has come on leaps and bounds, I could say, because he has changed his game a lot, and he's taken up a leadership role as well, I'd say. And that moves me swiftly on to my next pick. I was actually a bit torn about this because I was going to base it off this season. I was going to put a bit of love for Scott McTominay, actually, because I feel like he's been very, very good for Man United this season. But recently, unfortunately, I watch a lot of football, and I watch a lot of Man United because it's Premier League. But I'd actually go with Paul Pogba, because I feel like recently, especially in the last game against Burnley as well, I can see Blair's face. But I feel like the pundits have pointed out perfectly well. Since United have been pulled into this title race, he has changed his game a lot this season. Not this season, but the last few months, I would say, since maybe mid-November time. And again, it was another tear-up between him, McTominay, Henderson. I could have literally come to any one of these. But if we're going to base it on overall ability as well, if I'm putting in Thiago based on overall ability, I'm going to put in Pogba as well based on overall ability. Because I'm pretty sure everyone, when he was at Juventus, wanted him at their club. And Pogba is a fantastic player who can pass the ball sweetly and strike the ball sweetly. So yeah, that's my midfield 3.
Look.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go the same then. I actually didn't even know Thiago was fit still. So I was going to give you one Liverpool player and say Jordan Henderson. And I'm not a big Jordan Henderson fan. He sort of reminds me of like Michael Carrick at Man United, where he's kind of like the unsung hero. I understand he obviously has a big influence on the team, but I still don't know if he's on par with these like world-class midfielders you see in football today. But I was going to say Jordan Henderson, but if Thiago's fit, then we'll go with Thiago. Obviously, you spoke about him. Like we've seen at Bayern and Barca at times before how good a player he is. On his day, he's one of the best, I think, in that position in the world. It's just sort of fitness and injury concerns he does have the odd time, but when he's fit and firing, he's one to watch. Very entertaining to watch as well as neutrals. Bruno Fernandez as well. Obviously, I spoke about him a fair bit the other day in the World 11 video. Just brings so much to the United team. He's totally transformed them on the ball, off the ball, the work ethic he brings, off the field, his leadership. Sort of, he's making that team want to win games, want to actually work hard again, and it's something we've not seen for so long at Man United. And obviously his penalties, his free kicks, his corners, everything. He's just got so much to offer in that midfield. And I'm going to go with Paul Pogba as well. I'm actually not a big fan of Paul Pogba. I have been in the past. I think it'll probably be time for him to leave, maybe at the end of the season, if they can get a half decent offer for him from one of the big European teams. Yeah,
PSG's apparently.
Yeah. And I think like we're seeing him play well just now, but I don't think it's for the right reasons. I think he's doing it because he wants to stay in the France team when they're playing in the Euros. I think he wants to orchestrate a move. I do think he's got Man United in his heart to an extent. Like he's been there since he was a young man. I think if he could leave with winning the league potentially, not to get ahead of myself, if he could win after winning that or winning a trophy, then he'll probably look at his time at United and say.
Look, say that again for me, please.
Say it with your chest this time.
Say it with your chest out, please. Please repeat that.
If he leaves after winning the league, then he'll be very pleased with himself. That's not to say we're going to win the league.
Oh, I can't believe we're hearing this.
Well, a few weeks ago, if I said to the Man U were in the title race, you'd call me crazy. And now they're 3 points ahead, so then they're 3 points clear. So
Liam,
they're in the title race.
See when Man U win the league, we're done for. We are done for. We are done for.
You know what scares me the most? You know what scares me the most? If you remember Liverpool last season, we were getting so lucky. We could argue we were getting lucky with decisions. And what are Man United getting this season? They're getting that luck.
That's it. It's winning games when you're not playing well.
Yeah. And they're getting these scrappy 1-0, 2-1 wins, and it's scaring me.
Aye, definitely. I'll go with my midfield then. So, start off with, I need to put in Jordan Henderson. I know you say Thiago, right? But Thiago's been out. He's been out injured, and when he's came back, he's not been the same Thiago that we've known. Like, he's going to take time to get back to his best. Right now, I don't see him performing to the best of his ability. I think you can agree with me on that, Liam. But Jordan Henderson's, as you said, he's the unsung hero at Liverpool. Spoke about him on the Team of the Year podcast. I actually put him in my Team of the Year. Honestly, he's just a hero for Liverpool. He is. He's staggering. The work ethic that he's got, the commitment, and the leadership that actually shows to the rest of the team. So definitely Jordan Henderson in that field. Also Bruno Fernandez. I put him in my Team of the Year. A remarkable player. He's made such a difference. He is just the engine of Man United just now. And honestly, he's second to none with his work ethic again. His willingness to win. His willingness to create chances, and his willingness to score. Even if it is from a penalty, he still scores the penalties, doesn't he? So 100%. And I would need to go with him. From other midfielder, I don't know. I'm stuck. I can't go with Pogba because Pogba's just not it for me. He's not all up for me.
I do agree to an extent. I still just think he's the way in the form he's in just now, the way he's playing and the ability he has. He's probably the best midfielder out of both two teams, ability wise, if not just the second best. But
if you were talking about Juventus in 2014, maybe. At the moment, I just don't see it. I feel he stoats about the park. He's got ability, yes, definitely. He's definitely got one of the best skill sets out of both teams, no doubt about that. He's a flair player. How many games does he turn up to show that flair? But it's his work ethic that doesn't. I don't like players that don't have a work ethic, and he is one of the players. He picks and chooses. He said that he picks and chooses the games that he wants to play, and you can't have a player like that. You just can't. So, for that reason, I don't know if he's actually fit for the game on Sunday, but I'm going to go with Nemanja Matic.
Right,
no chance.
Yeah, that brings a bit of steel to the midfield.
Definitely. Honestly, with the form that he's been in recently, I feel that Matic is a remarkable player, and he's
Matic is a good player.
Highly underrated.
Liam, if I'm going to admit that Jordan Henderson offers you stuff, you have to admit that the man
I'm not
Jordan
dissing
Henderson and Matic.
I'm not dissing Matic, but I just feel like there's much better options out there for the solid midfield option. I know I might sound biased here, but I would probably go with Scott McTominay over him if we're going to base him off this season, because McTominay has been fantastic for Man United this season.
That's what I was going to go with. I forgot about McTominay. I will go with McTominay then. I knew I couldn't think of somebody. There was one player I couldn't think of. I was like, is it James Milner? But then I thought he's not been playing. I was like, aye. So it's Scott McTominay. Give a shout out to Matic, but Matic has been remarkable for Man United recently. I definitely think he's came back onto the game that he used to be on. And 100%, I do rate him. He's a player that Chelsea first signed. Mind Chelsea won the league. I feel that that's the type of player that he's been this season for Man United. Hasn't been starting every game, but when he has played, he has been solid, and his stats are up there as well in every game that he's played. But have to go with Scott McTominay. So many times he's been dropped out of the squad, and every time he comes back, he just looks better, doesn't he? Look.
Yeah, that's exactly it, and he's a big game player. Doesn't matter who he's playing, he never seems to be phased. You look at all the games they've played. The 4 times they played PSG in recent years, the time they knocked them out, and the more recent time when we got knocked out the group stages, he seems to turn up in all these games. Last season, goal against City, he's an old-fashioned Man United player where he's come to the academy, clearly loves the team, clearly wants to play for them, and he'll put it all out there every single game, work his absolute best, and ability-wise, he's not as good as your Pogba's, your Thiago's. But he just has this sort of grit to him, and yeah, I think he's a good player. He's a very underrated player. I think he offers a lot to United.
Yep, 100%. We'll get straight into attackers then. So, do you want to start us off this time? So we'll go 3 up front. So our striker, left wing, right wing. Go for it.
Okay.
There's a right answer here, look.
Well, I don't know if there is. For the first 2, I'm going to go with Mane and Salah.
Okay, right. I don't care who you go with. You got Mane and
All right, yeah. We'll go with Mane and Salah. They won the Champions League together. They won the league last season. They were part of maybe the best trio in world football at a time. Although that third option is who I don't know, is who I'm just not sure about up front.
Has to be Rashford. Rashford.
Off the back of last year, I would have said Martial, because I thought Martial was bringing so much to that team. Not just some of his crazy goals that he was scoring, but just the way he linked up with everyone. He was almost that one of the most important players in the team last season. But even
Greenwood, if you're talking about the back of last season,
no, he's not.
The back. What I'm saying is, if you're talking about the back of last season,
yeah. I'm not going to say Martial though. No, I'll take this season into account. So I'll say Rashford.
Yeah.
I think he scored like 5 goals in December or something like that. I think he's slowly learning how to score some scrappy goals. Over the years, we've seen him score some absolute bangers in big games, but it's just about doing that consistently, and he's gradually adding more and more goals to his game. I don't think he's an actual striker, although that's where he'll play in this team. But I think probably be between Rashford and Bobby Firmino. I don't know if Firmino's even fit, but Firmino for me has just not been doing it for the last year and a bit. And I know what you're going to say about it's more than goals and all that, and I understand that to an extent. But you're a striker, you need to be scoring goals. So I put Rashford in, Mane and Salah.
I'm sorry, Liam, but Rashford is levels above Firmino at the moment. You need to admit it. He's doing what
fuse in a minute.
You got 2 Liverpool players in.
He's doing.
I'm not going to say I want Firmino in this. He's not going to my team either. I'm going with Rashford as well. But I could argue about Firmino whole bloody day. Firmino, it's hard to explain with Firmino. He is not an out-and-out striker at Liverpool. The way Liverpool play, the main attacking threat comes from Mane and Salah, and you see either one or two of them always get the golden boot for the last 2-3 seasons or something like that.
But we know how Firmino plays. We know how good Firmino's been. He does a high pressing game, and then when he needs to, he'll drop back, and Salah and Mane will come in central. We know how he plays, and honestly, he is terrific at what he does. He does the dirty work. Fair play to him. He does all the dirty work. And that's the way Klopp plays. He plays excellent as a cam as well, when he used to play as a centre attacking mid. But based on recent form, you can't put a player in because of high pressing.
Liam, can I ask you a question about Firmino, right? So for the last sort of year and a bit, the picture that's been painted by Klopp and Liverpool fans is that he should get cut some slack, because obviously he's not scoring the goals, but brings so much more to the table. But then this summer you signed Diego Jota. So does that not show that there is surely some truth to these like outsiders who are saying Firmino's not all that? If you went out your way to spend 30-40 million on Jota, who went straight into the team, I don't know if I think there was maybe some injuries with players, but he came in and he was scoring goals for you. Does that not show that there is some truth to it?
Potentially, but when Jota came in, it was clear to see that we needed depth in the forward line, because our backup to the front 3 was bloody Origi. So we needed to bring in a quality to challenge.
40 million, but
yeah, it does. In today's market, 40 million is nothing, right?
Yeah.
And when
the Premier League,
and the Premier League as well, and Liverpool paid I think Liverpool paid something like 15 million or something up front for him, because they had add-ons and they had Keanu Hoover as part of the deal as well. So it's all part and parcel, but I could see why, but I feel like Jota was brought in to give competition to all the players in the front 3, not Firmino, because he's.
But it's Firmino who's spotted it.
Yeah,
Hoiver, Keanu Hoover. Sorry, that was a totally separate deal. That was 9 million he went for, wasn't it?
I sweetened the deal because if Hoover went the other way,
I know, but it wasn't part of the 40 million. I'm sure it wasn't part of the 40 million, because I think that somebody else said that as well. It wasn't part. It was. I think it was like 30 something million, and there was 28 million or something. There was 12 million in add-ons.
Either way,
it definitely wasn't like that. But yeah,
Either way, it wasn't the 40 million up front. That's a story for a different day. But back to your question, look, yes, I could see why people would think that, but like I said, Jota wasn't brought in to replace Firmino or to replace Mane or that I replaced Salah one day. He was brought in to give competition to the front three, and my God, he has done it well. But again, it's good. You need to have a squad. It's not just about having your best players on the pitch all the time. You need to have some good quality off the bench as well. And right now, and last season, that's what Liverpool lacked at times. You could see that's one of the reasons why Liverpool probably didn't go far in the cup competitions or didn't go far in the Champions League last season, because we didn't have that spark off the bench. But now we do, with the likes of Jota and I don't know who else, but you see the likes of Shaqiri who could come in back into form, and you've got many other players on the bench as well. But yeah, even Milner, yeah, but
you can play anywhere. You can
back to the starting 11 though. I'm going to go with Rashford. Rashford is a fantastic player. He's got lightning pace. He's got a great strike on him. I would argue though, Rashford, I don't know about you, Luke, but I seem like when I watch Rashford, he seems to be a bit of a frustrating player to watch. But there's sometimes where you look at him and go, oh, he could be one of the best in the world. Then you go another time and he goes, what are you doing, mate? He was playing right wing against Burnley. I know he's not comfortable in that position, but you can see the way he was trying to avoid going on his left foot so often. And it's quite obvious to see that he may be a bit of a one-footed player, but I'm still going to go with Rashford. His numbers speak for themselves, and he has a big game player as well. Scores against Liverpool all the time. He scores against PSG. He loves a goal against PSG as well. But for that reason, yeah, I'm going to go with Rashford. I'm going to keep bias out of it.
Yep. I think we can both agree Mane and Salah on the wings in.
No argument whatsoever.
No question. Definitely no question. I think they speak for themselves. So, we'll get straight into the quiz.
What about your striker?
No, we've said striker.
Rashford.
Did you say Rashford?
Aye.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I said Rashford. Rashford striker. Mane and Salah on the wings.
Right, let's batter this quiz out. I'm ready.
Right. In the last Liverpool versus Man United game, what was the score and who were the scorers?
It was 2-0.
It was on the 17th of the first 20, so it was actually a year ago.
It was 2-0 to the mighty Liverpool. Van Dijk with that first half header, and then Salah sent the Kop into absolute meltdown with the last minute second.
So can you tell me what minute the goals were in? No.
No chance, no.
Van Dijk scored in the 14th minute, Salah in the 90th. Here's a question. Well, it's a true or false. Man United have a higher transfer market value than Liverpool.
They spent more on their players?
No. So the whole squad as a whole, the transfer market value on this day, Man United have a higher transfer market value as a squad than Liverpool. True or false?
I'm going to go false.
I'm going to say false as well.
Because Liverpool, I think I read something that Trent is one of the 3 most valuable players in the world right now. And
Rashford's the most expensive.
Of Salah and Mane, who are still in their prime. So I'm going to say false to that.
Did you say Rashford's the most expensive?
Yeah.
No, he's not.
Oh, so he is.
He is. Have you not seen that?
Yeah.
Bruno Fernandez is just taking over him.
Oh man!
I seen in the news that Rashford was voted the most valuable player in the world.
Bruno Fernandez is just taking over him. Bruno Fernandez, right? I thought that as well, but no, because I was looking into it today.
Was it true?
Look into it. Go into the transfer market website, and you'll see Bruno Fernandez is Man United's most expensive player.
Oh, fair enough. Oh, okay.
Who has the higher? Sorry, why am I've not told you the answer. So, Man United have a transfer market value of 765 million and 35,000. Liverpool have a transfer market value of 1.1 billion.
Good bit of difference.
1.1 billion.
Jeez, oh.
Yep. Out of both clubs, who has the higher average age in their squad at the moment?
I'd say Liverpool as well.
Both looking in on Liverpool?
Yeah.
Liverpool have the average age of 26.5 years of age. Man United have the average age of 26.8 years of age.
No way. That's crazy.
26.8. So Man United, you both get that wrong.
That's the Matas and Matiches just sitting on the bench.
They've probably stuck Mourinho in there as well. In the last 10 games, in the last 10 meetings between these sides, how many have Man United won? Is it A, 3, B, 2, or C, 1?
It's got to be 3. I'd say 3.
3.
Yeah.
In the last 10 games, there have been 6 draws,
Shit. It's not going to be 3 then.
Oh no.
3 Liverpool wins, and 1 Man United win. It was a
Last
2-1-1
Really?
in the last 10.
That's shocking.
That is
6 draws.
terrible.
That is horrible.
3 Liverpool wins and 1 Man United win. I actually remember it was at Old Trafford and Rashford scored 2, didn't he?
Or was it the 2-1?
Aye,
When
you're
Trent-
He had Alexander Arnold.
You're Trent a new one that day.
Yep. And the question that you will love, Luke. Who has the most Premier League titles?
United. 20 league titles. 21 in a few months.
It'll be 2020 in a few months' time.
Fair dues. That's the quiz over then, boys. Well done. You probably got all of them wrong, but fair dues anyway. At least you tried. What we get on to now?
We're getting into the
Preview.
game now. The actual game itself.
Liam, do you want to go with your predicted lineup?
I'm going to go with what I want rather than what I think Klopp will go with because I always get these wrong anyway. So my goalkeeper is Alisson, easy. Right back Trent, left back Robertson. Fabinho, he'll start. And Matip's not been in training yet, so I can't go with him yet. Unfortunately, I do not want to see Henderson play centre-back. No chance whatsoever I want to see him play centre-back. So
He's going to do it.
I'm
He'll do it because he done it last time.
I'm going to give myself a heart attack and go with Reece Williams at centre-back. I'm actually going to go with a 4-2-3-1 this game. And I'm going to have a midfield 2 of Thiago and Henderson. Thiago brings that grit and determination and that quality to find that one pass you can just always rely on. To be perfectly honest with you, if he was fit, I probably would have gone with Naby Keita because I see a lot of Twitter going absolutely mental because Naby Keita is a really talented player, but he is
Naby lad, Nabila.
See when he was holding the trophy, he went.
He goes Nabila.
Yes, lad.
Yeah, yes, lad. Nabila.
And my other centre midfielder is going to be Jordan Henderson. That's why I'm not really considering him playing centre back. And then because I'm going to 4-2-3-1, playing just behind the striker will be Firmino for me. Left wing will be Mane. Striker will be Salah. And probably the most interesting pick. He came off the bench against Villa. Obviously, we were playing Villa's kids. But I thought he made a massive difference. I'm going to go with Xherdan Shaqiri. He is a very underrated player, in my opinion. And whenever he comes off the bench, he always seems to create. And I feel like he's worthy of a start this game.
He likes a game against United as well. He always seems to do well against us.
Yeah, he does. Surely, if Firmino, Salah and Mane are available, that'll be the front three.
You would think so, but I feel like we need to get at United's defence because there's one thing that I would probably comment on United's defence is apart from maybe Wan-Bissaka, it's not obviously you want to get at Maguire because he's not the fastest in the world. And if you've got Mane, Salah and Shaqiri going directly at Maguire or directly going to maybe Luke Shaw, for example, on that left side, then it can instill more confidence in you if you have another attacking threat.
Would you not want Firmino to be, as you talked about earlier, with his high pressing? If you're talking about getting out of defence with the high pressing, would you
he's
not
still
want
going to be high pressing?
Be
if he's playing striker or cam, he's going to be playing high pressing.
Could go with a 4 again up front.
Could do. This is another debate. If Jota was fit, he'd be starting. I'd be starting.
Yeah,
easily for me.
That takes you into the Firmino debate. Look, you were right. There you go with the Jota.
Yeah, he's been brought back.
I'm not saying Firmino would come out.
You said that.
I'm saying
You just said
a front
it.
four. Oh. Right,
You
move
said it
on.
yourself.
Right, move on.
Look. Predicted lineup.
Yeah, okay, so De Gea and goals, obviously. Henderson we've seen coming a couple of times this year, but I think De Gea is still the number one at this point in time. So De Gea easily. Harry Maguire, he seems to play every single game, bar none. I'm hoping that it's Eric Bailly that we're playing alongside him, but I'm not sure. Like, if you ask me to predict who's starting, there's probably like a 50-50 between him and Lindelof, and the fact that Bailly started the last game is I'm not sure. Ollie seems to really like Lindelof, but I'll say Eric Bailly. I hope it's Eric Bailly. Wan-Bissaka at right back and Luke Shaw at left back easily. Midfield is another one because they seem to have a lot of options there. I think Matic, the fact that he played last night means that he won't be playing this game because he seems to be playing one game and one game off. So I'm going to go Fred. I'm going to go Bruno Fernandez, and I think Paul Pogba, despite Scott McTominay being in good form at times, and Pogba has been rotated a fair amount this year. I think they're trying to prove a point to him that he's not going to get to play every game if he's not at it. But right now he is at it. He won the game in the last match, so I'm going to say Pogba. And then as the front three, I think Martial up front. I'm going to go Martial on the left, Rashford on the right, and Cavani up top. I don't like Marcus Rashford off the right, but it seems like Ollie thinks that's the best option for the team to get Cavani in, who has been good at times. So yeah, I think Martial, Rashford, and Cavani up front.
Yep, sounds about right. Definitely. So straight into predictions. Look, we'll go with you. What's your prediction for the game?
I'm superstitious. I don't like predicting Man United to ever win, but it's not necessarily a game that we need to win. I think the pressure is on Liverpool. It's them that are defending the title. They're the ones that are at home, and they're the ones that are 3 points behind now. So I think if Man U can go, just make it difficult for Liverpool, and I'll take a draw. So I'm going to say 1-1.
Aye, that would kind of follow suit with the last 10 games, 6 draws, make it 7.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That tells you everything.
Hey, Liam, what's your prediction? You confident getting into the game?
I tell you what, I'm not confident going into this game. The only reason I'm not going with a defeat this game is because we're at home, and I know we don't have fans right now, but there seems to be just a little bit of a thing with Liverpool at Anfield. We just don't seem to get beat there, and that's one of the reasons why I'm not going with a defeat. And it's another reason as well that I'm not going with a draw. I am going with a Liverpool win, but I'm going with a Liverpool win basically off the fact is whenever the going gets tough at Liverpool and there's something on that, Liverpool know if they lose this game, the title race may virtually be out of their grip. They need to just focus on top 4 at that point. Liverpool, if they win this game, will spur them on. Like how Spurs should have done. And then we went and beat Crystal Palace as well. The last 3 results against West Brom, Southampton and Newcastle, all games we should have won. Maybe bar Southampton, they played amazing. They played us off the park at times. No. But with
Time's coming back to bite you.
Yeah, again. But with this game, Klopp will install fear into those Liverpool players, and he will rile them up for this game. And if the key players turn up, if Salah turns up, if Mane turns up, if Trent turns up, then it will be. Man United, in my opinion, will have to suffer throughout 90 minutes because it will just be attack after attack after attack. The only way I see United scoring is on the counter when you see Trent and Robertson playing as nearly wingers, and because the pace of Martial and Rashford, even Cavani as well, who's not necessarily the slowest player in the world, or a dodgy penalty as United always get. But I'm going to go with the same as last year. I'm going to go with a 2-0 win. It's going to be maybe a goal from a corner, and then United will be going all out, and we'll get a last-minute winner.
Exactly the same as last year, then, eh?
Exactly. I just feel like they need this confidence boost again to spur them on. Yeah, I'm going with a 2-0 win.
Keep it safe. Shane Van Dijk can't score, isn't it? Did you see the ref came out this week? I was actually going to speak about it the other day, but I forgot. See, the ref came out this week and he apologised about the Van Dijk tackle, said that he got the decision wrong. I don't think any of us knew that, mate.
He's a bit late with that, isn't he?
Yeah, it's a bit late.
Jesus, I know. How many months is that? So, I will go with. You thought I was going to finish the video there. I will go. I don't know. I don't want to go with a draw because there's been far too many draws, but I can't see a way that Liverpool win or Man United win. Liverpool just aren't at it at the moment, and Man United will go full steam ahead. Feel like it might get caught out. I can see Liverpool getting. Well, I can see. I don't know. I see somebody getting a late equaliser. I can maybe see Liverpool getting a late equaliser.
Dodgy penalty.
Aye.
Penalty from Liverpool.
No, penalty for Man United.
I just want to say, by the way, Liverpool and Man United have both scored the same amount of penalties this season. So this myth has to be busted now.
It's not the whole debate. It's the penalties that Man United are getting that's pissing me off, not how many they're getting.
I seen one the other week when Manny runs over a player's foot, but we don't need to get into it.
Forget about that. We'll not get into that.
It's alright if Manny does it.
It's Manny. It's Manny.
It's
Manny. Manny. You'd forget him when the Liverpool top. Nah, but yeah, that's all from us today. Thank you very much, boys. Please leave a comment. Tell us what prediction you have for the game on Sunday. Tell us what you think the score will be and your predicted lineup if you want. Please like, subscribe, give us a subscription, help us out, help us raise our profile. And until then, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you from Liam. Thank you from Luke. And good luck, boys, for the weekend.
Thank you. We need it.
Say goodbye from me.
Come on, you Reds!